So I have the good fortune in the job that I do by being a podcaster to meet some incredible people that are doing deep inner work for themselves and then supporting others and then also just sharing their wisdom and their experience with everybody and I get to be given those gifts all the time. It's just I love what I do. I love what I do. And so today I'm reconnecting with someone we interviewed a while back, and now we are friends. We get in touch, and it's really cool. And so I just want to welcome Dr. Tracey Johnson back to the show again. Tracey, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, Susan. It was just such a wonderful experience the last time, and I'm so excited that you allowed me to be a part of your podcast again. Thank you.
Oh, honey, you're so welcome. So what Dr. Tracey does is she helps you connect with your heart wisdom. And when I had a session with you, Tracey, you helped me. And actually, I haven't told you this, but still to this day, part of my daily practice is journaling and talking to the wisdom of my heart, whose name is Sophia. And I get some really profound affirmation of the truth of who I am just by listening to my heart.
Oh.
And this is so basically Tracey's website is openheartworld.com. And so you helped me develop another tool that helps me keep my heart open and listening. So thank you for that.
Oh, I'm so excited about that, and that you were able to really connect and receive your heart's name, and it's just so exciting when that happens. It's so exciting.
Well, and you're all about the inward journey, going in just like I am. And I think this is why we synced up. But so explain to everybody why you're all about the inward journey and that connection to heart wisdom.
Because one of the things that when I was growing up, I grew up in the church. And so there were a lot of scriptures that I learned. And one of them, it's that I received, it's about understanding and experiencing your heart. Like there was one scripture that stands out to me. It was like, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And so it was like, how is it that a heart can think? And I end up writing my dissertation, or my dissertation on the heart. And what ended up happening is my whole life changed as a result of connecting to my heart and paying attention to the messages that my heart was giving me through my feelings. And one thing that I did learn was that my feelings equaled my what I believed, and my beliefs affect my thoughts, and my thoughts affect my emotions, and those three things equaled my feelings. And it says, your heart will guide and lead you to your truth. So if that's if everything is coming from within and it will guide you to your truth, it was like I needed to pay attention to my heart.
Yes, and listen.
Yes.
So did you find that it was important for you to feel the feelings that were, or the emotions that may have been stuck there that hadn't been aired out yet?
Yes, that was like the key, right? Because one of the things for me, I used to avoid my heart like the plague.
Yeah, I think
I was always in emotional pain. And so I did everything that that you could do to avoid, like bypassing, like they would call it, or doing anything to escape that feeling. But it wasn't until I realized that my feelings was what was keeping me, that was my indication, or me, by me ignoring my feelings, it was keeping me from being able to fully experiencing my truth and what was very, the most important to me.
Well, and I notice us human beings want to avoid pain, if especially if we've been in pain once, boy, I don't ever want to go in there again, and And so for me, Tracey, I was sharing with you before we started, I've been on this deep dive inward journey, and it started with really wanting to heal my body, my physical body, because of being type 1 diabetic for 30 years and all this other stuff. And of course, me being me, a spiritual being, it wasn't ever about the external, the physical experience of health or not health or whatever. What I found doing a deep dive and also journaling with my heart wisdom is there were generations of belief systems and shaming and sorrow and anger that had been passed down generationally. And so my practice, it has been almost daily, to lean into those emotions and feelings that my ancestors didn't even feel, so I kind of feel like I became that collection pot or whatever.
Yes, I understand.
For all those emotions.
Yes. And then when you say like it was that they probably felt the same thing, but they didn't deal with it. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so you have come here, and when we did the session, you came here to be the one to like some people call it generational curses or put a interrupt your bloodline in terms of that experience, that continual experience, because your journey and we know our journey that we've been on was to prepare us for what we ultimately came here to do, right? So
yes. But and I'm sharing all this with everybody out there because it's important, like Tracey was saying, to feel your feelings. It's important to experience the emotions, because once we can move through that emotion, or I'm not talking about reliving it over and over again, but feel the feelings and then we can release it. And that creates more empty space for us to fill ourselves with more love, right?
Yes. And so I call them emotional blocks, because whenever we don't allow ourselves to feel the emotions or sit with them, because again, like I said, I used to, avoid my emotions, but when we don't sit with them and in that place of they're like in my book, Broken Open, there's a process that I share and that I practice. I walk my talk, and I know you do as well, Susan.
Yep.
And what I do is even like I had this experience this morning that I had to observe what I was experiencing in terms of emotional blocks. And so what I teach my clients and those who attend my workshops and things is to, whenever you're having, I call them low level emotions, because again, like I shared before, emotional blocks is just love turned inside out. And so I don't look at them as negative. It's about us just experiencing and observing what we're experiencing. So I always give them, I tell them, when you're having low level emotions, the first thing you do is you stop. The second thing you do is you acknowledge what you're experiencing. You acknowledge that you're angry or frustrated or, whatever the emotion that you're experiencing in that moment. Is you acknowledge that you're having that experience. Don't run from it. Don't, go and try to do something to make it go away. Okay. And then after you acknowledge it, you accept what you're experiencing. Because
that's a hard one, Tracey.
Yeah, big time. Because you have to accept the fact that, I'm really, excuse my expression, pissed off right now.
Mm-hmm.
And allow yourself to be in that space for that moment, and then you love yourself through it. Like, so you stop, acknowledge, accept, and then love. And so what would love look like in that moment? Not judging yourself. That's not loving yourself. The acceptance is that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. It's a challenging thing because we haven't been taught to, okay, I'm just speaking for myself, but I wasn't ever taught to accept myself. I was taught to improve myself. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
and I still have to watch myself when I'm like, oh, I need to not do that anymore. It's like, whoa. Just
Right.
accept me for me.
Right. And then like for an example, like what you were sharing, like for me, I've been a perfectionist all my life. And my mom, like everything had to be perfect. Right. So I was on, I've been on this journey. And so like sometimes when I'm like really meticulous about doing certain things and I'll like start judging myself for being that way. And then I was like, no, I'm not a perfectionist. I operated from a place of excellence. And I'm going to accept who I am, not to a point where, like I used to be in anxiety mode, trying to do the perfection thing. Now that's a different story.
Right.
If I'm not in a state of anxiety trying to make things perfect, and I'm just doing something and making it the way I choose for it to be, then I accept it. I let myself off the hook. That's one of my biggest things that I do in terms of demonstrating love to Dr. Tracey J, is to let myself off the hook. So when I say I stop, I acknowledge, I accept, and I love myself through whatever I'm experiencing, one of the big things that I do to demonstrate love to myself again is to let myself off the hook.
That's a big deal. And it sounds so simple. It really sounds simple.
Right. But this is what I call it. You have to practice the presence of love. So as you continually continue to go through those steps, and every time it happens, it becomes easier and easier. Because I've done that. I've practiced the presence of love. And so guess what? Now, my favorite place to be is in my heart.
I love that. I so love that. And so now you've got a new, you're at this point that we're having this conversation, you're launching a new program called Falling in Love with Me. So talk to everybody about that.
So I created the program because, I do a lot of heart scan readings. I, have clients that I coach. And most often when I ask them a question, what does love look like and feel like to you? And they have such a hard time. I would have to give them homework and have them to sit with themselves and to connect with their heart, for their heart to reveal to them what love looks like and feel like to them. And so I decided to create a membership to assist individuals on taking a journey. And so with the membership, and I'm so excited about it, is that like when we get together, it's going to be like a Zoom call once a month. And I'm going to do group heart scan reading. And during that heart scan, after our hearts reveal to us, like the layer of love that needs our attention, which points to the experience and manifestation of love within our heart. And then what the emotional block is that's keeping us from experiencing that. Then we're going to take that heart scan, and it's going to be what we're going to demonstrate love to ourselves. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Like if our hearts reveal to us that the layer of peace is being blocked as a result of anger or whatever the case may be, during that whole month, where we're going to do is focus on allowing our heart to reveal to us in what manner do we need to demonstrate love to ourselves in order to experience peace.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yes. And then paying attention to what the emotional block that our heart reveals to us, because when that trigger happens, then we stop in that moment and say, okay, it's affecting my peace. In what way can I demonstrate love to myself in order to shift from that place into peace?
And so what does that mean though, Tracey, demonstrating love to yourself?
So like, for example, one of the things that I do, like whenever, like if my heart, when Burrell, that's my heart's name, revealed to me that, the layer of love of peace need my attention. Mm-hmm. And then, so what happens is when I get to a place of frustration, if peace is the thing that Burrell wants me to pay attention to, one of the ways in which I demonstrate love to myself, I have a mantra, right? That my Burrell gave me. And it's like, I'll say, ease and grace, Tracey. ease and grace. So me and Belle had a conversation. I said, Belle, I desire for you to guide me and to help me to experience life through ease and grace. So when I demonstrate love to myself, when I'm in a place of frustration or something or anxiety, I will stop. I will focus on my heart and I will breathe and I'll say ease and grace, Tracey. And that shifts me just like that. That's one of the biggest ways that, and the easiest way that I demonstrate love to myself in a moment of frustration. So it's not really hard. We make it hard, but that just really shifts my heart, and it feels so good because it reminds me not only that you know that I had a conversation with Belle and asked her to help me, but then she helps me in those moments, and that feels so good. Because when you love someone and if they're going through something and you just touch them on their shoulder and you speak like a loving, kind, you give them little loving, kind words of encouragement, that's a way you demonstrate love to someone else, right?
Yeah.
So you do it to yourself. So that's what I mean when I say you stop and you demonstrate love to yourself in the same way that you would do someone else, how you would demonstrate love to others.
So what else in joining this program, Falling in Love with Me, what else are you guys going to be doing besides the heart scan and then asking, yourself what love looks like and all of that?
Yes. So then what we're going to do, like I said, we'll focus on whatever comes forth through the heart scan. And then also you will receive a love note, which I ended up creating a deck of cards as a result of taking my group on a journey of falling in love with them to be their own Valentine in February. So a deck of cards came forth that's called A Message from Your Heart, and it's love notes, right? So you will receive a love note from your heart every month, and it's going to be accompanied by a recorded message. And so whatever the love note is, I'm going to share or some ways in which you can demonstrate, or a way in which you can demonstrate and embody that message that your heart, demonstrate love and embody the message that your heart is speaking to you through that love note. And so that will be a part of it. And then I will also offer for those who are part of the membership, discounts on any private sessions like heart scan readings or sessions as far as mini coaching sessions, and also on the products. But the other big exciting thing is that they will be a part of a private forum, which is called the Love Bubble.
Uh-huh.
And within the Love Bubbles, you will be able to submit questions if you're having challenges with, demonstrating love, or you're going through something and you need someone to, share as far as encouraging and uplifting, and then also sharing your testimonies or creative ideas in which you demonstrated love to yourself. So we'll be helping each other out on the journey of falling in love with ourselves, and to share ideas, because a lot of times people don't know. They
Right.
don't know how to. And then so as we go on the journey and we get excited about the shift in our lives and sharing, our journey and how we demonstrated love, then it'll help others to be able to do the same.
No, and I got to tell you, Tracey, I'm one of those people. I work better in a small group than I do. I mean, I get more motivated. Like I'll go to a yoga class if I know a friend's going to meet me there,
Right.
Hey, I'll just go to a yoga class. Doing this yoga online, I never got it done because I was by myself. And I find I personally do much better if there's more than me. And what I find in my groups is if one person's experiencing something, most likely everyone else has experienced it, or they're actually going through it at the same time.
Yes. And that's why I'm so excited about the Love Bubble, because, to support and encourage one another, like even being a part of something like this is a demonstration of love. It's like the first step.
Yeah,
right? And it's to create a space that's just for you, right? So it'll give the individuals opportunity. It's not something that'll take up a lot of time and it's overwhelming. It'll be a time where you can just create a space just for you. And if you're not able to be on a Zoom call, you will receive a link, to be able to see what came forth. But not only that, the most important thing is to find out what the love note or the heart scan, as far as the heart scan is concerned, what came forth and what you would be focusing on for that month, so you wouldn't miss anything. Because I understand everybody wouldn't be able to be on the Zoom call every single time, but it's going to be really exciting and wonderful, filled with lots of love.
It sounds wonderful. And so for everybody that's listening, if you're curious, go to openheartworld.com to find out more about Dr. Tracey, but also about the program Falling in Love with Me. And they can join by going to the site, yes?
Yes. And then when you go on the website, the openheartworld.com, just click on membership, and it'll give you the details in terms of, what the membership is about. And then it'll also have a link for you to click to be able to join. And so, again, I'm so excited about it, and just look forward to sharing and help assisting others on their journey to loving themselves, or loving themselves more
and more love. And that's really what we all need in the world. There's a famous song about that, right?
Oh, I know you're not going to get ready to say that, because it's the song that's been ringing in my head, and I bet you it's the same one. What is?
Go
ahead and sing it.
What the world needs now is love.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm going to have to play it again for myself when we get off this call, because I got chills, and that song resonates with me all the time.
Yes.
That's the truth, right? So,
but it comes from the inside out. That's the key.
Yes. And I think after this lockdown we all went through, I think everybody is understanding more, at least I hope and pray, that it's not what the outer world and the getting the things or being the person that is the big deal thing, but it's about really knowing yourself from within. And then your world gets even better.
Oh, yes, and yes.
So Dr. Tracey Johnson, thank you. Go to openheartworld.com and find out more, and click on membership for the Falling in Love with Me program that she's launching. And Dr. Tracey, thank you. I've said this to you a bazillion times. I'm saying it again. Thank you so much for the work that you do and the love that you bring. It's so needed right now. I appreciate you.
Yes, and back at you the same thing. You are doing awesome things, and I just love talking to you, and you just so amazing to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And so I'm just going to end with, and so it is, namaste.